your host for the Hidden Truths channel. And I am here doing my live broadcast tonight. I missed it last night because I was busy. But anyway, we're going to talk about World War III today and the possibility of it definitely kicking off this year. Anyway, or maybe in the next couple months. But I'm going to wait for a few people to start filtering in, couple minutes talk. Tomorrow's live stream will be from out in the pastures where I'll be doing my fencing jobs and stuff. So might be sitting by a campfire tomorrow night. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I'll be out there honing my survival skills and working at the same time. That'll be a great time. Can't wait. Work for a couple weeks, come back home for a while. Anyway, that's what you can do when you do a job that nobody wants to do these days. So, but I'm going to have an adventure of it, at it and stuff. And I can't wait. But my live broadcasts are probably going to be later. They won't be showing up till probably, I don't know, 7:30, something like that. Depending on how long my day is and stuff. But anyway, I can't wait. I'm excited. I wanted to do this for a while. I go to these ranches and always get stuck doing the fencing. So I said, in the days I'm not doing fencing, I'm working cows. So I'm working every day. So I just decided I'd start doing it myself, make a good wage, be a contract laborer, and take time off when I need it off. Travel the country and make money. And believe me, $15 ad gave me 6 months worth of work. And I still got people calling me and stuff. So anyway, this is one job that AI definitely can't do. So, but I've been definitely getting my place ready for me to be gone for a while. My horses are still going to be here. And, you know, I'll be glad to get back. When I get back, my lawn's going to be green. I'll have to do some mowing and some spraying. When I come back here in 2 weeks, I can't wait to mow my lawn. Isn't that crazy? The older you get, what you look forward to. So, oh, they bought me a new lawnmower for my birthday. I can't wait. All right, I see a few people showing up. Let's talk about World War II. Let's talk about the possibility of World War III. Liam Blackwell, how's it going? Now, I used to think that we didn't have a leader with the fortitude to start World War III, but it's really starting to look serious. Now, first I'm going to go to Sudan, and then we'll get into the tariff wars and, you know, stuff like that. But Sudan, I heard today that they're planning a ground invasion. Now, this is the thing, okay? I've been in that part of the world when I was in the military, floating around on a ship and stuff. Spoolie, hello. And I know how it all works out there. And I've been to Diego Garcia. But anyway, see, that's the supply lines. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. And one thing about you subscribers, you got to check to make sure you're subscribed. Stay subscribed, because YouTube's really, lately they've been, you know, I'm getting messages from YouTube all the time that's saying that I'm getting subscribers, but my subscriber count's going down, but whatever. But anyway, back to the subject. That's the supply lines to Diego Garcia. Through the Mediterranean Sea, through the Suez Canal, through the Red Sea, down into the Indian Ocean, and to Diego Garcia. I took the trip myself on ship. And Diego Garcia, it's a British-owned island, but it's a Air Force base. It's basically a runway of a stationary aircraft carriage can launch bombers, but they also bring ships there. That's before they send them to the Persian Gulf, because they'll bring in specialized. Well, thank you, Liam. I'm glad you like me. But they're bringing the specialized equipment when you go to Diego Garcia, stuff that they don't put on in the States, we'll just say, before you go to the Persian Gulf. But see, this is the thing. They got to secure their supply line first. And that, you know, you got to go around the coast of Sudan. Well, you know, they need to take that out first before we can go to war with Iran, especially if it's a big war and we need lots of supplies. And this is another thing. If you're in North Carolina by Morehead City, or you're in Virginia by Norfolk, if you're seeing extra, I'm not talking carrier groups, I'm talking the amphibious assault ships going out, especially out of Morehead City and stuff. Okay, with a lot of Marines being moved out of Camp Lejeune and stuff, the deploying units. Okay, you got to watch for that. But anyway, if they're going to do a ground invasion, it's going to have to be an amphibious assault, of course, with coming in with helicopters from the air and ship. How old are you? I am 57 years old. Still healthy though. Yeah, when I was in that area. That was back when Reagan was in office. That's how long ago it was, in the mid to late 80s when I dealt with that stuff. So anyway, but with them taking Sudan, like they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna take over the whole country or what deal is, but a ground invasion. The thing is, if we have one, we couldn't beat them in Afghanistan. I hope if we have a ground invasion, at least go, and get the job done. But they're securing their supply lines. So if they're doing that too, they're anticipating that this war that they're going to have with Iran is going to be long and engaged. Now, I don't know. I looked at the map. Could they be going after Iran to kind of get at China and Russia's southern border, where they have a launching pad and stuff for all their bombers and stuff? I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, we've been messing with Iran. We've been having problems with Iran since we installed the Shah that the people didn't like. That's one reason we got the Iran we got today, is because the United States got involved with Iran. Was it back in the late 50s, early 60s with the Shah? And that was one man that was absolutely corrupt. Okay. But, the thing is, can Trump go after Iran now, since Europe looks like they're going to go after Russia with Ukraine? The whole world's just gone crazy. Okay. And then, I can't remember his name now. The Secretary of Defense, $1 trillion defense budget. That don't sound like a peacetime defense budget to me. Okay. $1 trillion. That's a lot of money to spend. So anyway, we're going to war. These people we haven't had a real war in so long, but I don't know how America's going to do when it's no longer the big guy, the senior, picking on the first grader. Okay. And if we're going to go to war with the nuclear power, I mean, back in the 1980s and 70s, if this stuff would have been going on, nukes would have been flying already. You see how desensitized we become with all the wars that are going on and the rumors of wars. I don't want to get into that side of it, but yeah, we're going to war. I would say that between the end of May, probably around the 25th of May, till no later than the 10th of July. If the war is going to start, it's going to start at that time this year. Okay, one thing you can't let your enemy do is completely get prepared up. But anyway, they're loading Diego Garcia up. And what is Diego Garcia? It's a shit little island, I'm telling you. You can't even go swimming in the water there because the sharks are so bad. Okay, there's not much to do, but it's just airplanes taking off all the time, especially when it's hot and heavy with this. I mean, all the time. So, anyway, but a ground invasion in Sudan. I thought we were bombing the hell out of the Houthis. I thought we were kicking their butts. But you still always need the boots on the ground. But my son Julian is listening along with me. His father would agree with this. Well, all I know is when you can see what's coming, prepare. Because, Americans are screaming for this war. Okay, they haven't seen our cities bombed like other countries' cities have been bombed. Okay, that's coming here. I've been in the military. I've seen a whole hillside blow up. The American people have been immune from that. Well, what are you going to do when it starts happening here? This is what I don't understand with people. We need to start getting along. Things are getting way too out of hand. And it's not only our country spending a ton of money on defense, it's every country. That's the one thing about World War II is, the Axis powers were built up to strength. The Allies weren't. But we're like World War I, where all the countries were armed to the teeth, ready for the fight. Yeah, it's just going to be bad. America is going to get a taste that they don't want to deal with. I mean, we're dealing with precision munitions now, hypersonic missiles. And don't forget, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but somebody got video, I think it was a news station, that got video off the coast of California that looked like a rocket being launched, and they said it was a plane that was landing or what, taking off. It was stupid, okay? It was obviously a missile that was coming out of a sub in the water or off a ship deck or whatever, okay? It's not like the Japanese didn't bomb the West Coast with their submarines and stuff and shoot missiles. They even shot missiles at the Golden Gate Bridge. Not missiles, but torpedoes. And then they'd sit there with their deck gun and shell. I think they even went up the Columbia River for a ways, if I remember right. I have a question. Sure, go ahead. All Americans are some Americans. This thing, we need to be Americans, okay? Nobody no matter what side of the aisle you're on, when this war gets kicked off, you ask your question, sir. I need to get on my glasses. They're all scratched up. I just have to wear reading glasses. But nobody on either side of the spectrum, the political aisle, is going to want what's coming. I mean, can you just imagine conventional warheads going off in our cities? Not that I think they would use a intercontinental missile, ballistic missile to, deliver conventional warheads, but let's say tactical nukes, okay, to take out a factory in the surrounding areas and stuff. It's just going to be bad, people. Take it from somebody that's seen stuff that you don't want to see. You definitely don't want to see it in your city, in our country. We've been protected for so long. That was one thing. We were always sent overseas to do the job, to keep so America didn't have to deal with it, right? Well, now it's coming here. Anyway, people are just thirsting for it. I don't understand this war stuff. Could you imagine? And I'm not throwing blame here about the money sent to Ukraine, but can you imagine if we would have spent that money on real infrastructure? I mean, we want electric cars. Okay, I'm all for electric when it's actually going to work. And it ain't going to work until we find a way to store that energy without it having to be, we need really big batteries.